Bienvenido a Cut the Nets, un programa de básquetbol discusión. Me llamo Jeremy y esta persona se llama Brian y esta persona se llama Andy y esta persona se llama Meyer. Bienvenido a Cut the Nets. How's my Spanish, y'all? I mean, obviously it's good, but Telemundo wise.
That sounded great to me. I
Awesome.
mean, shoot,
Bonito.
you must have some Hispanic heritage in you, huh?
I do, actually. I am actually half Hispanic and half Jewish. So not only am I ethnically diverse, I am religiously diverse in minorities.
But who's counting?
By the way, Andy is part German, so we're getting along really well. Really well. Brian over here is quarter Puerto Rican, not to mention 4.9% Ashkenazi Jew.
According to my heritage, yeah.
That's right. We've got Andy, as I mentioned, who's German. And did I also, what other? It doesn't matter, you're white. And then we also have our token black guy. So, person who commented saying that there were 5 white guys talking about basketball saying none of them could dunk. You know what? You're almost right. 20% was white. I'm guaranteeing that probably none of us can dunk right now. However, Brian and I, we might go for a vertical challenge to see if I can dunk at 5'7". Brian can probably reach it a lot closer because he's 6 foot tall. Maya, I'm not really sure how tall you are, but I mean, can you dunk?
On a good day, I could probably do a rim graze. That's about it.
Hey, you know what? Then you're right about that. But you're not right about is the fact that we answered your comment with diversity. Look how diverse we are in this group. And also, since it's Pride Month, I may have experimented in college a thing or two. Not going to get into it.
Welcome to Cut the Nets, guys.
All right. Welcome to Cut the Nets, everybody.
I'm out.
Okay, co-host Brian's out.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, guys, to Cut the Net. Welcome, guys, to Cut the Nets.
That's low-key a hot take, but I agree with it.
I don't care, Barbara. If he can't throw a football, get him out of the game.
In a bad way, but they're playing like nitty gritty. Like
Brian, hit the gym more. Look at that.
This guy.
Yeah. No. I'll play Like, I'm saying that Jalen Brunson will play really well in the playoffs.
Oh, then yeah, I did misunderstand you.
Yeah, you misunderstood me. In his veins. You guys haven't been relevant since Cam Newton.
We're basketball podcasters. We're not Met Gala attendees, dude.
You know what's great, though? The fact that Brian is over you. He's literally over you and literally looking down on you.
Was that necessary? Really? Do you feel better after having said that, Jeremy? Like, oh my God, you got embarrassed enough. Okay, I'll take the hat off. I'm sorry. My bad, guys. Here, I got a Vegas hat here. I'll put this one on. Always a great time at Cut the Nets, fellas.
All right. Okay. See, I'm not gonna get anything. I'm not gonna get into it. We're not gonna get into it. But anyways, we're a basketball podcast, guys, and we have diversity in this episode because of the fact that we had a nasty comment made by some YouTuber who probably just wanted to ruin our Saturday. This is what he said: "Great content. 5 white guys. None of them can even touch the net. With voices like hairdressers, critiquing NBA center for not being masculine enough. Keep tearing it up. You're gonna go viral. Like, come on, man.
All those dorks, like not even guys.
Yeah. I mean,
white dorks.
But hey, this message goes for him, Mr. Dingu at 357.
You know what I'm betting? This is Karl-Anthony Towns' burner account since he made fun of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I mean, apparently he doesn't want the word getting out about his zesty voice. Is that what we called it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's millions and millions of other videos about his zesty voice, so, I mean, you know, the truth's out. You got to be yourself more. You can't just lower your voice just because the media asks you basketball questions.
We roasted and ratioed an NBA center. The one who thinks he changes the game once he leaves.
Yeah, which we will get into, by the way. What we're going to cover today is obviously the finals recap, Beal to Suns trade. Damian Lillard may or may not stay in Portland. Some draft talk because the NBA draft will be on Thursday. Speaking of draft talk, we will be doing our mock draft in a separate video, so stay tuned for that video. It's going to be a blast. All of us, me, Meyer. See Andy's notes. He's prepared. Meyer can do it off the dome. Brian is good too. I probably will be the least knowledgeable because I suck at college basketball. But hey, I know Victor. I know the top 4 drafts. I'll do my best. But we have also NBA pop culture. Kat and Bev saying some really outrageous, egregious things about themselves in the NBA. Basically saying like Minnesota had a better season than Denver when it came to like what they had last year or whatever. But anyways, this is going to be Cut the Nets episode 28.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Anybody off the top of their head could name who had the jersey 28, number 28?
DJ Benga.
DJ Benga. Wait, who did he play for?
He played for the Lakers and the Mavericks back when.
Way back, yeah, it sounds like a way back when. What year or what decade?
2000s.
I was thinking of Iggy or Knicks legend Aaron Aflalo.
Aaron Aflalo. That's right. Aaron Aflalo.
Nuggets legend. There you go.
Yeah, or Iguodala back in 2013.
Oh, or Max Strus. Max Strus is a good one.
Jan Mahimi.
You know, actually, I'm going to go with Max Strus because he's more recent. And,
Barbosa wore it at one point, too.
Was it on the Suns or Warriors?
I think it was on the Warriors.
The Warriors? Okay. Barbosa used to piss me off as a Rocket fan. Really did.
As a Cavs fan, I feel your pain, sir.
Oh, yeah.
That guy used to cook us.
His shooting was weird, but like he played so well off the bench in Golden State.
He wasn't supposed to be good on that team, but he was. Why?
Yeah.
Pissed me off.
I don't know. So did Sean Livingston. Also, have you seen Sean Livingston's face? Like what he looks like now?
What does that mean?
Dude doesn't age. He looks like he could still play for the NBA.
Sean Livingston was good.
He was good. Even after that serious injury that he had, like a horrific injury. He bounced back great. But speaking of the Warriors finals, let's talk about the finals between the Nuggets and Heat. Recapping, the Nuggets beat the Heat in, yes, we know Christian Brown. By the way, Christian Brown makes another appearance, guys.
Hi, guys.
Whose jersey is that?
This is Gary Harris. Look at that.
Gary Harris.
Wow. And now it's really some diversity there.
Yeah.
Michigan State
some diversity
legend.
there.
Big Ten basketball, baby.
In this game, it was pretty much neck and neck. Miami had like a 10-point lead. I believe it was in the second quarter. And then pretty much they lost the ability to shoot, and it was sort of just a dogfight game back and forth. I mean, like, this is kind of what most NBA Finals games are made of. I mean, I wouldn't really say, like, what did the Miami not do to not win this game? Honestly, I felt like they just couldn't really handle or pick apart the Nuggets team just because of the fact that the Nuggets had more size, they had more depth. Miami with two injuries to Victor Oladipo, and the fact that Tyler Hero who's the second other playmaker other than Jimmy Butler, was still not making an appearance, even though he was supposedly on the bench. Ready to go-ish, but I guess Spo didn't really put him in. You just didn't really have enough firepower in the Miami Heat. So with that being said, guys, like, how are the Heat going to look at this season?
I mean, at the end of the day, they were in play-in legit 8 seeds. So at the end of the day, I guess it's an accomplished season getting to the NBA Finals. But I think especially that they did it all without their sidekick and Tyler Hero. But obviously, they're not going to think that way, especially with the mentality and mindset Jimmy Butler has. Obviously, it was a disappointing end to the season. I mean, you saw how they were last year when they lost Game 7 to Boston, when Bam Adebayo ripped his jerseys. But, I mean, to show you what Miami did. Matt, can you go back up to the Heat stats real quick?
By the way, Matt is our producer for today.
Yeah, Zach couldn't make it, so now we got Matt Strout. What's it all about, baby? We gave Trevor Neal a nickname. Now we got Matt Strout a nickname. But to answer your question, Jeremy, about what the Heat didn't do right, it's Jimmy Butler. He was the MVP of that team. He got them so far, put them on his horse, and then he just disappears in the finals. He really had an awful season. He can get his Chuck E. Cheese application and going 5 for 18 in a must-win game.
Here's the thing, though. He bounced back, hitting back-to-back threes in the fourth, but it felt like it was kind of too late, though, even though
It was, and I think it was because they were gassed, and I thought he was hurt, but it still hasn't come out that he was, so I don't know. I just think that he didn't play the best in the finals. I mean, they scored 89 points in a basketball era where teams are putting up 111, 120 like it's nothing. I mean, listen, I think Denver also played a great game. Jokic was just too much for them. Would have definitely been interesting if Tyler Hero played, but unfortunately he didn't. So we'll see what happens. Listen, I want to tip my hat off to Miami. They had an incredible run, even taking out my Knicks, unfortunately. Meyer and I's Knicks, unfortunately. Denver earned this, and they deserve everything between Aaron Gordon partying streetless in Denver, in the city of Denver, Jokic tackling Jamal Murray in a pool. Like they've earned that. It's their first ever championship.
Dude, I didn't know Denver played that hard. I mean, I think I saw a Twitter photo of like each championship within the last decade. I mean, you had the Denver Broncos parade, and I didn't really see that. I wasn't really paying attention to the NFL, the Super Bowl stuff when I was a freshman in college, but like it was just as full as this year's parade with Denver Nuggets winning their first championship in franchise history. I mean, you had every Nuggets player just partying. Did you guys see Aaron Gordon like on the street partying with fans?
Yeah, he was shirtless, just running
They
through
call
the
him Mr. Nugget for a reason.
Exactly,
That's the man,
dude.
man.
Crazy. I mean, that it felt like he was just hanging out and just being, just a regular guy. I mean, and what's all said and done, they're all just people just like us. But like, to see him partying with like people half his size is interesting, especially on the
Goofy
street.
looking, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, just crazy. Like, look at that. He just looks like a regular dude, but we all know it's Aaron Gordon, and he's just kind of hanging out, not even like with like security or public, like with bodyguards or with people that are supposed to protect him.
Still in his game shorts.
Yeah, didn't change either.
Let's keep in mind he went to the University of Arizona, so this is nothing new to him. This was just like a normal
U of
Friday
A?
Saturday for him.
Dude, U of
when
A.
he was a Wildcat. Yeah,
Let's go,
That
U of
was
A.
just normal.
Dude, U of A, crazy place.
So I've heard.
I believe it.
Yeah, Christian Brown too. Like, namely, our one of our guests here, Christian Brown. How was that party? You were serving tequila shots all around. Like, that's crazy. You were like pretty much the bartender.
Listen, yeah, I mean, I was such a role player for the Nuggets this year. Always being the guy to really make sure we got to where we wanted to and push things over the top. And so, at the party, if that requires me serving tequila to random white women in Denver, I mean, come on. If that's what my job is, that's what I got to do. Also, would you not want to do that yourself and get a nice little ring because of it?
That's right. Exactly. That's right.
Where the vets make you do.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, seriously.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's what the vets make you do. It's rookie hazing at its finest.
If that's how hazing works in the NBA when you win a title, I mean, it's the greatest job in the world. Look at these guys. Is this when they're in Vegas?
Oh my God, DeAndre Jordan looks like a banana.
That's TJ.
Look at Jokic, dude. That's just somebody's dad right there. I love it,
dude.
Michael
Malone. Oh my God. Michael freaking Malone, when he was on the mic saying that we'll be back here next year or whatever, this isn't the end of us, and
he was dissing LeBron too.
He was dissing LeBron, like dude sounded like one of like your old drunk uncle at a wedding. That's what he sounded like.
Somebody asked why he was like why he had these tendencies I didn't expect it from him, and someone's like, oh, he's from Queens, that's why. And I was like,
oh my God,
that makes a lot of sense. I'll give him that.
Okay.
I mean, look at the chain. Buddy's dripped out next to Bruce Brown and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, we run this shit back. Oh yeah, come on, get loud.
Get loud, literally breaking his voice too.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Legend. They will be back.
They will be back, dude. I see a dynasty in them, man. Like they have most of their core intact for the offseason. With respect to like maybe Bruce Brown, but I mean I think they should re-sign him. They definitely should re-sign Bruce Brown, like no doubt.
It's gonna be a lot of teams wanting him though.
Definitely, he's gonna be
lose.
Go ahead. Saying they're gonna lose Bruce Brown, Meyer?
Potentially.
Yeah, it's an option. It's a club option, team or player option, one of the two, right?
I didn't think he had an option.
No,
or is he just done?
I think it's a
it's a player option. It's a player option.
Play option.
If he's smart, he opts out and gets more money though, which I don't know why he wouldn't do. Whether he decides to re-sign or, test the market this offseason, which will be a good one for sure. Maybe not the best we've ever seen. You know, we've been spoiled with some of our really good free agent markets in this past, but this one will be a good one still.
Let's talk about maybe some stats here though. With Jamal Murray and Jokic, their performance. I mean, sixth player Jamal Murray in NBA Finals history to average 20 points per game and 10 assists over a 5-game span. Like he was pretty much a more of a facilitator than he's ever been in his career. And not just a scorer, because when we look at Murray, we think of like, you know, Bubble Murray or like a scorer Murray. Now we see facilitator Murray, and he's very capable of doing that, even when Jokic is not even on the floor. Even though Denver was 5 for 28 from deep, I mean, they still had that defense. They still had Aaron Gordon, still had Bruce Brown, like we mentioned before, to sort of keep the Heat from increasing their lead or even running away with the game. Jokic, I mean, yeah, say what you want about his stats, but I really don't think he cares. I don't think he cares about basketball at all, really.
He doesn't need to care, apparently, if he's going to do this and put these type of numbers up.
He's probably the most chillest NBA Finals MVP I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, he lost the trophy and was even like, he was mad about the parade. He's like, oh, I got to get back to my horses back in Serbia. They got a race on Sunday. And he's like,
yeah,
oh, I don't even care. Like, I don't love my job. Like, it's a job to me. So like that. This dude literally just doesn't give like a flying fuck about basketball. And like, which is crazy because like, man averaged 30 points, 13.5 rebounds, and 9.5 assists in the playoffs. And like Jamal Murray even said he could be better. Like, now I'm kind of curious what Jokic would do if he actually tried and it actually mattered.
If Jokic tried, he probably had like Wilt Chamberlain numbers.
Could.
I mean, that's what I think. Based on how he plays, it doesn't really seem like he's trying on the court either.
No.
Yeah, the way he moves, he's just kind of moving out there. He doesn't even have to be athletic to do what he does, and I think that's the best part.
And he got Denver their first championship. He could retire and then still retire his number.
No, yeah, him and Melo are going to share 15, hopefully.
Yeah, dude, he's going to probably have a statue, you know, built for him. Even if he, like, hypothetically retires after this season. Because it kind of seemed like, even though he's only 28 years old and he's got a ton of life left in the league, I mean, I would say, given the way he plays, a decade left in the league. You know, he could turn to like 38-year-old Tim Duncan when he ages, which is still really, really good. It didn't really seem like he wants to go back to back or even cares about the NBA in general. I mean, it's just kind of weird. Him like putting up all these stats and then barely smiling ish, and then like when he goes to his horse race, he's like a kid in a candy store.
See, I see what you're saying. I kind of disagree. I think it's like, it's not that he just like doesn't care whatsoever. I mean, obviously, like if you win the finals, I'm not
saying he doesn't, like 100%. I would say that it's like a dude who enjoys his 9-to-5 job, doesn't love it, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I will. The whole, when you said chillest Finals MVP ever, that's saying something, because Kawhi Leonard was it twice and showed more emotion than Nikola Jokic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That guy's known for just being like, you know, I can't even mimic his laugh, but
hey.
I don't know. I think Jokic just holds himself to such a high standard, because like the guy does genuinely get pissed when he like loses, or I mean, going back to his history with the Heat, I mean, he basically ended Markieff Morris's career with that shove in the back.
That's true.
Like, the guy does get heated. It would be nice if he showed a little more emotion. We saw it from the parade, probably because he was drinking all of that Serbian Slivovitz or whatever the hell they drink over there. They know how to drink. I don't know if you guys ever been out with some Eastern European, some Slavic people.
Oh, dude.
They know what's going on.
Was it Bruce Brown or one of the Nuggets players was like, I'm
hungover
hungover as fuck because Jokic kept giving me shots, and then Jokic is just fine.
He's a tank, man.
He's not even like showing any sort of, you know, disorientment or what do you call it, incompetency,
and then disorientation.
Disorientation. Disorientation.
It was just another day for him, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it also helps him being 6'11", 284, but
yeah, but most basketball players are at least 6'5". I mean, I know Bruce Brown isn't that tall, basketball wise, but still, man, like
First comment, get
Well, he's
this man a
6'5",
water.
but I'm just. It's more like the weight, though.
I was to see party in Vegas last night. Yeah, exactly. Like he blames.
You need some Pedialyte.
He does. He needs some Pedialyte. He needs some Gatorade. He needs
And then
some
there's just
lemon,
Michael
ginger,
Carter
honey, all that
Williams.
stuff.
Congrats, my guy.
Yeah.
Michael Carter
thanks,
Williams.
MTW. Yeah.
Oh my
I'll be
god!
back in July.
What, playing for a specific country, not the U.S. or a semi-pro league? Like,
He'll be playing in the Big Three or whatever it's called, the Ice Cube 3x3
oh
tournament.
my god!
MVP next year.
Jeez.
Fun
Well,
stuff though. Good for the Nuggets.
regardless of what Jokic says, I'm pretty sure he's going to have MVP numbers for the next 3 or 4 seasons. Regardless, I mean, he does it effortlessly. So, fun fact though, he never really mentioned the fact that I don't care about this. I want to go. I want to go home. After they lost several times before this year, so of course he cares about this game of basketball. It's just that I kind of think he feels like Shaq. Because remember when Shaq won his first ring, he was like kind of slacking, like mentally, and he was like, "All right, I did it. I'm done. It's over." I don't think he's going to go down that trajectory of like gaining weight and not really caring about the game of basketball. I think he's going to still do well, or like not be out of shape. I think he'll still be in shape, but I think he had sort of that response, kind of like Shaq in a way.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Can't afford another star to ruin their own career by gaining weight. I mean, look at James Harden.
What's with this? Come on, guys. Hey, we are lucky that
Always
Zach.
him.
We are lucky that Zach is not here to put the freaking James Harden, bodysuit looking picture.
No, Matt
Picture
still
up
can.
there.
Matt
No,
still can.
don't do it,
Matt,
Matt.
don't
Don't
do
do
it.
it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't listen to
It's
Brian.
up to you, I guess. I don't know.
Anyways, you think Nuggets will repeat before we head to the next subject?
They could. I'm gonna save it for later. Why? But they could.
Okay. Meyer, Andy.
I'm gonna be non-committal here. Let's revisit that once the off season's over.
Okay. Good answer. I think I might go with that too. I mean, looking at it right now, I do see the Nuggets possibly having a chance to repeat because the West looks like they have a ton of issues besides the Kings, and maybe given that the Suns got Bradley Beal in a trade, they're supposedly increasing their offense, probably to make their offense a lot more like overpowered with that trade. By the way, that trade from Bradley Beal to the Suns was pretty much nothing for the Suns. Like, they just gave up Landry Shamet, Chris Paul, who's aging, and a bunch of pick swaps and second-round picks.
Andrew Shamet, shitty ass.
Like,
There you go.
how the fuck did Washington okay with this trade?
Porzingis might be gone too. I think Washington's just hitting the full reset mode. Maybe their GM was even in Denver celebrating, and he was hammered while making this trade. I mean, it's like
Oh.
NBA 2K
He
mode
might
on
have been high
rookie.
to make this trade too. He might have been crossed. He might
Might
have
have been
both.
crossed too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of 2K, they gotta fix their trade logic as well.
If you put that trade on 2K, that's going to be hardly. You'd have to override it. You'd have to have that option where you can override trades in my
Yeah.
GM if you do this trade, because this,
Nah,
or you have to put it on rookie mode or something.
And then
'cause,
did
like,
you see the Suns got 2 players back?
what?
The trade
What do you
package got updated. They got I couldn't tell you their names, but let me find it. Hold on.
Also,
I didn't
Beal is
see it
only
all.
29.
He feels like he's 33.
He's turning 30 on the 28th.
Oh, okay. Well, still 30, still at your
Yeah,
prime.
no, that's
But the Suns now have Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. Well, which I will also mention, they have contracts of up to like $35 million plus, with KD and Beal $45 million plus per year. Nuts. And then they have DeAndre. They have DeAndre Ayton.
They're gonna trade him though.
I think so too. I think.
well, they're already over the luxury tax, aren't they?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, they are.
Like by a lot.
yeah.
But then Ishbia, their new owner, just wants to throw out money no matter what. If that's what he wants to do.
UWM CEO Matt Ishbia. I met the guy.
Yeah,
It's Isaiah Todd and Jordan Goodwin.
Oh, okay. So sort of like
Shitters.
maybe in the rotation when there's garbage time type of players?
They might have to be because like the Suns are already committing like 169 million to just Durant, Beal, and Booker, and then plus you got Aiton's contract. So like,
I'm sure they're gonna trade Ayton. Like they have
Oh,
to.
they have
in order
to.
to like in
Probably
order to
for
have
Miles Turner.
in order for them to remain consistent. 'Cause I don't think adding Beal did anything for the Suns team. I mean, if they had anything, it would probably add less defense and less depth with this trade. I mean,
And those were the concerns that we saw kind of get exposed when they played the Nuggets in the playoffs this year. The lack of
course.
depth and no defense. And does this trade do that much other than give them offensive firepower? I don't think so.
I mean, I think so because I mean Chris Paul, as good as he is, and then he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, either disappears or doesn't play in the playoffs. I mean, Beal's never played in the playoffs either, so we don't know what playoff Beal's going to look like. But or at least I don't think he's made the playoffs. He didn't make it, right?
He made the playoffs.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, he made the playoffs.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like
He also made the playoffs with John Wall too. So
Yeah, I was thinking then. Yeah, but yeah, Beal's gonna be in the. I think it gives them better. They're gonna be way better offensively, and then you trade Ayton. That's almost like a legit team. I was seeing I was watching Sports Center today, and like they were talking about the Beal trade and other NBA stuff. And Kendrick Perkins was saying, I don't know if Phoenix can pull this off, but seeing how their last trade, how well that was for them, I think they can do. Best trade possible for DeAndre Ayton is you get Luke Kennard and Steven Adams.
Steven Adams.
That gives
Luke
you
Kennard?
Yeah, it gives you upgraded scoring off the bench and Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard's an excellent shooter. And then you get Steven Adams, one of the best rebounding bigs in the game. Can really hold it down defensively. I think it's a match made in heaven.
I like Turner and Hill better for them.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know how
Pull
they
that
can pull
off.
that off. Especially with Turner.
Yeah, they
Turner's
got made
got a
money
nice little.
match.
Yeah. Turner's is on that big contract. Hill is a possibility, but if you're gonna have Turner, if you have Turner there, you could have maximized more visibility to not only shoot the ball from the wing and be a spacer, but also make block shots more often because he used to do that back in the day. So it's kind of a risky move too for Phoenix Suns. I don't even know if they can pull that off. But with the fact that Steven Adams, all he is defense and rebounding. That's all he really is, and also pick and roll. But I mean, who are you going to have that with? You need a point guard who's capable of doing pick and roll offense. Booker can only do that for maybe half the possessions. You can't. I don't think Booker's going to be a true point guard, in my opinion. I just don't think
He
he's.
can. Like in games that Chris Paul didn't play, Booker averaged 35 and 8. I mean, so like he can be a facilitator, and like they both can work well, him and Beal off ball. But apparently, what the early rumors are saying is Bradley Beal's gonna be the point guard. And Meyer, to your point, Miles Turner makes 19 and Hield makes 18. So I don't know what Ayton makes if that matches, but obviously I think if they can
make
turn
like 30.
He makes a lot too.
He makes
I can't
30.
remember exactly.
I'm pretty sure he makes around 30.
I think the main concern is really just going to be depth. General Manager James Jones has quite the offseason ahead of him because, I mean, are they just going to fill it with, since they're already over the luxury tax, are they just going to fill it with a bunch of like G League retreads, or just guys they can get on like the veteran minimum and stuff? Are they just really going to go all out and throw all the money they can at different guys that might be leaving teams? It's just, my big question is, unless Beal, Booker, Durant, if they keep 8 and whoever it is, their core 3 or 4, unless they're playing almost 40 to 45 minutes a night, who is going to score the ball consistently when they're not on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Like, they'll be a great regular season team, but because of their depth, I am worried when it comes to the playoffs, because obviously you see with, like, recent teams, like, obviously you have a great starting lineup, which Phoenix might have the best starting lineup in the league, but the championship teams also have depth. As of now, I still believe, especially if they trade Ayton, Phoenix can be a serious threat to Denver. So, as of right now, the way the current roster are, I think Denver repeats, but I think when this offseason ends, I think you got to finally give respect to Phoenix. And I mean, they could do, in terms of filling out the rest of the bench, they could do what the Warriors did a few years ago and just get veteran minimums like Mo Spates, like Andre Iguodala, like Anderson Varejao. They could go that route, or just like G League, like young guys. Maybe go hard in like the undrafted free agent route with the draft this Thursday. who even knows? But
I don't know, man. I'd much rather have veteran minimum players who.
Yeah,
been
they
in
don't
the league
really
for
know how to
years.
develop players.
They don't. Yeah.
I
don't know.
agree. But
I'm not sure. I mean, Ayton is their next step. They have to move. They have to, and they have to get a lot of bench depth, in my opinion, to compensate for that trade. Likely, a defensive big, some defensive-minded wings to sort of complement the 3 stars, or possibly men who are in the 6 to 9 rotation, who can shoot and defend. And of course, you have to probably sign well, what about Landale? Is Landale on the team? Still,
He's not under contract.
He's on the contract. So
I think the only one under contract is Beal, Booker, Durant, Ayton, and then Campaign. I think is their 5th one.
and Josh Okogie.
Yeah, and
Okogie's under contract
yeah.
too. Okay.
The thing is with Cameron Payne, he can't really do much as Chris Paul did. I mean, he can't really facilitate. I mean, he's more of a bench player who's likely to make threes and not really facilitate as much.
He was barely getting minutes at their last couple of games of the playoffs. They only threw him in there because they were really running out of options to try and get against
because
Denver.
Paul was injured.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying though. Is like he really was not a key contributor when it came down to crunch time last year. Like he's really taken a step back as far as that goes, in my opinion. And the other thing I'll bring up, Matt just put it in here. This big 3 that Phoenix is assembled, they're not the most durable guys that we see in the league.
True.
These guys missed a combined 96 games last season. Durant, as soon as he got traded to Phoenix, was out for almost a month before we actually see him to make his debut. Booker was out for a while, and the Suns slid from there. And then Beal wasn't. I actually don't know the specifics of when Beal was out, but I know he's not always been the most durable player on the team. And again, it goes back to my original point. What happens when these guys aren't on the court? Again, I'm not doubting that they can put something together. And as Jeremy said, the 6 through 9 guys really have to step up when it comes to that. But there are just so many question marks surrounding this team. I'm really excited to see what happens here. But I really can't say anything. I can't put their expectations right now. I can't put their ceiling any higher than like a 5 or a 4 seed maybe.
Yeah, well, I also think that, especially now with this trade too, that I feel like not only people talking a lot of this pressure to deliver championships on Kevin Durant. I mean, you've seen all the big 3s he's played with, from Durant, Harden, Westbrook in Oklahoma City, Durant, Kyrie, Harden in Brooklyn, the big 3 with the Warriors, now this big 3. Like, there's a lot of pressure for Durant to deliver a championship, and a lot of people have kind of questioned his legacy about, can he be the guy on a championship caliber team? I mean, that's why it led to the decision of being a snake. Like, Durant's never gonna get a better Phoenix team than this one, even with whether they trade Ayton or not. So I think there's a lot of pressure on Durant right now, especially at 34.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's 34. About to be 35 next year too. Yeah, perfectly stated, Matt. Look at that.
Play with a lot of stars, man.
I mean, KD, we all would have loved if KD and Russ stayed on the Thunder for like 10 plus years. That would have been so cool.
As a Cavs fan, yes.
They literally were in the finals too. Like, they lost
when
in
they
finals.
were like not even in their prime.
Do you think James Harden would have broke out as a star though? Because he kind of broke out once he left.
No, he would have just been a 6th man.
He would have essentially been J.R. Smith or Manu Ginobili.
Yeah. He wouldn't have pretty much developed or like changed the sort of narrative of like step back 3s or foul baiting, maybe some ankle breakers here and there. But
he wasn't going to be a scoring champion. He wasn't going to be a
or MVP
2-time
either.
MVP. Yeah.
Hey, you got to remember, Thabo Sefolosha started on that.
Legend Thabo Sefolosha.
Legend Thabo Sefolosha. Jesus.
But speaking of legendary 6 man, shout out one of the best 6 men of all time. Lou Williams just retired a couple days ago. Announced his retirement.
That is true.
Did you guys have some lemon pepper wings in honor of him? I know I did.
Did you guys go to the strip club with the mask on? I know I didn't.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, my mask was off. I don't know about you. I want the full experience when I go there, Jeremy. Right?
Dude. Yeah. No, I mean, I really wish Lou Williams re-signed with the Rockets after getting traded in the 16-17 season. Like, there was a couple of games when when Harden was just like the main star, and it was like Gordon, Ariza, Capella, who was the fourth, the power forward?
Anderson.
Oh, you're Ryan Anderson. Thank you. And like,
Capella's a 5.
yeah, Clint Capella. Yeah, I was looking for the 4. I always forget Ryan Anderson because he just was sort of kind of the guy who shot threes and that was it. Didn't really do
Come on,
much.
Jeremy. Is his name not white enough for you?
I actually met Ryan Anderson a couple of times. He went to. I used to work at this juice bar, and he would come and buy acai bowls from me.
Yeah, he's definitely white then. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. As the white man of this group,
yeah,
I would
but
probably. That sounds really good. Let me know where that place is. I'm gonna go visit.
Yeah, so there was like a couple of games in against the Thunder in round 1 where like Lou and Gordon were like combining for 40+ points, along with Harden. It was his like with this like typical 30 piece. Like it was a good offense. It was a really good offense under first year Mike D'Antoni. Just that Harden kind of lost gas and had his playoff woes as he usually does against a Kawhi-less and Tony Parker-less San Antonio Spurs, which I like. That's probably one of the more underrated choke jobs.
But they had LA though on their team, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
But to your point about Lou Will, he wouldn't have had the chance to resign because he was included in the trade for Chris Paul.
I forgot about that. That's how he went to LA Clippers. That's right.
Yeah, him, Montrez.
He was on the 18 team.
And him, Pat Beverly, Montrez. That's where Pat Beverly started to show more of himself after he got traded to the Clippers.
Was on that 18
after he
team?
got the first team all defense nod, he just started to really just show more of his personality. I remember that. And then they had that like Rockets Clippers locker room drama.
Oh yeah. When Blake Griffin was still there.
Police presence. Oh my god.
Then he got traded to Detroit.
Yeah. Yep. Damn. Yeah.
Patrick Beverly's still running his mouth.
He's still running his mouth after his relatively pretty solid Bulls stint, I would say.
Pat Bev's gonna be Pat Bev no matter what.
He really is. We'll get to that talk with Kat in after a couple of these segments, but let's move on to Damian Lillard. Just this sort of interesting case with him. I mean, probably coming into like the last couple of seasons, there's a lot of rumors surrounding his situation with the Blazers. Are they a playoff team? Are they going to really get over the hump and become a formidable playoff team? Are they just a sort of mediocre run-of-the-mill team because Lillard's injured or he has no supporting cast or it's just him just doing it by himself? I mean, there were some times where like Lillard was like, look, I don't have enough of my supporting pieces to really help me, make it over the hump. Not sure if I'll be on this team anymore. He might get traded. He might not. And now, according to Shams, he wants to remain in Portland again for his, I believe it's his 11th season or 12th season around that time. But yeah,
he'll be 12 now.
12th season. Yeah. I mean, he's still going to be a Blazer as of this moment, and there's no sort of indication he might be traded. However, the NBA is weird in the offseason, and sometimes they might land something crazy. Lillard might go to the Heat. There was some talk about that, if that was possible, which I think should be a definitive move for the Heat if they get that. But Lillard just wants to be in Portland, apparently. And Shams is, of course, as you guys all know, a very accredited media analyst about the NBA. So, I mean, what are y'all's thoughts? Just chime in on this, his loyalty, or maybe his belief that his team will be constructed to have more supporting cast. The fact that they have the 3rd pick in the NBA draft. What are y'all's thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of split on it because I see both sides. I see Portland definitely has a very good problem to have right now. It's either they keep their homegrown star and they go all in by trading incredible assets like that 3rd pick, which is basically either going to be Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson on Thursday, or you trade Damian Lillard, hit the reset button, you got the 3rd pick, you'll get a boatload for Lillard, you can rebuild this very young team very well and make Portland honestly a serious threat in a few years down the line in a wide open Western Conference, or a very young Western Conference. Portland also has a 23rd pick. They have 2 picks in this year's draft as of now, so they can definitely make the splash either way. But as far as Damian Lillard, now he kind of has to ask himself and look himself in the mirror of what am I even going to get out of Portland? Like, can I still see with the help win a championship? Because we know he's very loyal. He even said he was going to be. He said he wants to stay. There was rumors of him wanting to leave last year, and then those rumors were fake. But whether or not you choose to believe that or not, so he's definitely loyal to the city of Portland and Trailblazer faithful. But now it's kind of like, am I too loyal? Because now, if this little experiment, it's a big if Portland chooses to go all in. So what type of players do they get? Can they fit? Because you've seen players work together that you think is like a super team, and they don't win. I mean, look at the collapse Dallas had once they got Kyrie Irving to pair with Luka. So like stuff like that could happen. If I'm Damian Lillard, I'd get out at this point in his career. I think you should really try to not risk it. I think you should try to win and go to a contender. I mean, Portland respects you too much that they'll give you the option. So if I'm Damian Lillard, I think it's easier to get out than to try to make Portland a contending team because there's a lot of young, like unproven players on that team. I mean, drafting Scoot Henderson could be nice to pair with Damian Lillard, but I still don't think it's enough. So Damian Lillard, I think, should try to get out. If he could join a Miami, I really think Miami would be a great fit for Dame, and that definitely makes them championship contender. I mean, they were in the finals this year, and they didn't even have Tyler Hero. So Damian Lillard would honestly could make the Heat a lock to come out of the East.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a win-win situation for Lillard because if he stays, his fans will be like, oh, he's loyal. He's going to stick with his team through thick and thin, and even though they don't win a championship, we'll feel sorry for him, but we're glad he's here. Or if he goes to another team, it's like, dude, I know you spent over a decade trying to get us a championship with the lack of development with this team that you had. I mean, back when you were in your early days, you had LaMarcus Aldridge and C.J. McCollum was hitting his stride, and you guys had really decent talent. But now it's just they're all gone, and C.J. McCollum's on the Pelicans, and Yusuf Nurkic is not really a player he once was, and there's kind of just it just feels like Lillard's on an island. So if he moves, the fans would be like, yeah, you know what, you deserve that. Go get your championship. So definitely win-win for him. If he does go to the Heat, I feel like the Heat still need size, if that is a possibility, because they have hardly any sort of size, besides Bam, which isn't really enough.
I think the writing's on the wall. I think the ship for the Portland Trailblazers being a contender, I think that ship has sailed 4 years ago. So I think they should draft Scoot and then move on from Dean.
Well, going along with what Meyer said, I think that is a good point. They are in a very interesting spot at this third pick, depending on who Charlotte takes it to. I mean, I think we're all in agreement that Victor's going number one. And then number two, there's really been no way that Charlotte's leading, whether it's Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson, whatever happens there. But, if they have the opportunity to draft Scoot, I mean, I think that might be – they have a lot of guards already when it comes to that. They have Anthony Simons, then they would still have Damian Lillard, and now they'd bring in Scoot Henderson for this. Is it necessary to have all three of those guys? You know what I mean? Is that going to work out in the long run? Are they going to try and build around that? Or are they going to move Scoot or Anthony or Yusuf Nurkic or pretty much anybody else on their team? If they really want to keep Dame, nobody should be safe and when it comes to trade talks and stuff. Are they, is that third pick, are they going to keep whoever they pick there? Are they going to keep that pick? I think it's uncertain. I think if they really do want to keep Damian Lillard, this is pretty much their last chance. It's not like he's at the twilight of his career, but I'd imagine he's pretty fed up with what's the best he's done. He got to the Western Conference Finals and got swept by the Warriors in 2017 or 18, whatever it was.
2019, but yeah.
2019, yeah. I just don't know. The writing's on the wall. I don't know if Portland wants to move on from him, but if they can't make a big enough splash in the trade market, or maybe they do run Anthony, Dame, and Scoot Henderson, or they take Brandon Miller, or whatever happens there. Something has to change. If they don't make an absolute major splash, we're all like, "Wow, I can't believe they just did that." He's gone next year. He has no more time to wait.
I mean, I would honestly argue that the Blazers are in the best situation they've been in since 2019. They got the 3rd overall pick. They also have the 23rd pick. If they really want to go for it and try to go for a championship, another crack at it, if they're willing to keep Dame on the roster, then they can use that to trade for a solid big man or a nice second option for alongside Lillard. I mean, you got 3rd pick, 23rd pick. You can probably use one of the players. Jeremy Grant maybe might be an option for that. You know, it's a very easy. I wouldn't say easy. It's an interesting option for the Blazers. Or they could like Meyer and Brian said before, they could blow it up and just rely on the draft picks they have and trade Dame away for more draft picks.
I agree with you. I mean, in the sense of that they're in the best position since 2019, because this is the first time where Portland has leverage. Like earlier on, it was Portland being like, oh, we got to please Dame, so we got to try this. And then it was like, oh, we trade CJ McCollum, maybe this will work. And it was always just Portland reaching. And then it was like, let me try to get Chauncey Billups as the head coach. Obviously, that didn't work out. So they've tried things that felt forced. Now Portland has all the leverage of, we keep Dame, go all in, trade the 3rd pick for Thursday. Then, boom, it's like we're trying to get Dame title in Portland. We're trying to get Portland title that the fans so rightfully deserve. Or they're like, all right, like thank you, Dame, for everything you've done. We got this offer we can't refuse. We got 2 first-round picks this year, including the 3rd pick. Like, let's ship you out. Let's rebuild. We got a young roster. They go that route. So,
yeah, no, looking at the draft history, this is the best situation they've been in quite some time. They haven't had a 3rd overall pick in quite a while. So, I mean, do they capitalize on this by actually drafting somebody, or do they trade?
I just don't see a way that, especially if Scoot falls to them, I don't see a way that they keep him and they don't move him on draft night, whether they take him and then trade him later or somebody else trades up to get him. I don't see a way that they will trot out Dame, Anthony Simons. I forgot about Shaedon Sharpe. That's important to remember. And Scoot Henderson. I just don't see how that makes them a better suitor to keep Damian Lillard, interested in wanting to stay there, wanting to build a contender, because they won't be a contender if they just do that. It would take a couple years, and they don't have a couple years of Damian Lillard's patience anymore. That's my take on it. At least.
It's now.
It's now. Yeah. Oh, their last top 5 pick was Ohio State legend Greg Oden.
Oh, jeez. That's a tragedy.
Yeah. There's some great names on here, then not so good names. Well, Caleb Swan again, rest in peace.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be really good. That was after the 2017 year they drafted low there.
That's right.
Rondé Hollis Jefferson. What a guy. What a blast from the past.
Myers Leonard.
Oh.
Myers Leonard.
Remember that guy?
Yep.
I know I do.
Yep.
Jeremy's best friend.
Yeah, far from it.
Don't you guys love it when Call of Duty makes you say anti-Semitic things? And it happens to me all the time. Sarcasm.
Are we going to cut that? Not sure.
I don't know.
I usually report people now that say, stupid shit online that is uncalled for. Speaking of the draft history, let's talk about the current NBA draft set to be Thursday, June 22nd. Obviously, we have the top 3 picks kind of slated out in Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson, and Brandon Miller. Maybe it could be Amen Thompson at the 3rd pick. We don't know. I'm betting on Charlotte to fuck this up, even though they have the 2nd overall pick. Plus, Michael Jordan is now selling the team, so obviously they're in shambles. But now they have
everything's on fire there right now. Nothing's going well. It's like
I actually read an article that apparently Michael Jordan is broke.
I told you he was a degenerate gambler. I told you.
I heard he was broke, just completely out of money because he.
Why do you think Michael Jordan wanted to do The Last Dance?
Because there was a pandemic and people were really bored and sad because basketball was not playing. I don't know.
He wanted that money. He wanted that paycheck.
He got rid of it, all of it? Jeez.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. The
Allegedly.
the man is a degenerate gambler and smoker.
Thank you. LeBron. Would
He is our
say-
GOAT. He is our greatest of all time.
Well, who's our?
I beg to differ.
Oh, I'm not getting into this. But you guys can be
Mark,
wrong.
you my boy, man. Appreciate you.
You guys can be
Oh my
wrong.
God. LeBron has had probably the cleanest record ever when it comes to greatest of all time.
I'm only saying that because I never watched Michael Jordan play. That's
Okay, that's true. I did see LeBron James in 2007 and 2009 and 2012 and 2013 and 2018 and 2016. So, I mean, I did see all that in my lifetime, and that's pretty great. But I don't know. The Last Dance kind of made me like realize, oh, wow. I mean, Michael Jordan, I mean, I know he was awesome in 6-1 in the finals. Just not a good track record off the court compared to
Propaganda, Jeremy. Don't give into it. Don't give into the
But anyways,
propaganda.
NBA draft. We have the Spurs who got the first pick. I think it's obviously no-brainer, as you all may very well know. They're going to get Victor. I mean, what? Their center is like, who is it? Like Ken
Zach
Birch?
They do have Zach Collins, don't they?
I mean, they have Zach Collins, but he's more through.
He's actually been decent.
Okay, well, I mean, Victor and Zach Collins can sort of like kind of tally with the 4 and the 5.
Victor
But-
got to play the 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's
the Spurs
Victor
just need
Wembanyama.
everybody right now. They,
Yeah,
they
no,
could need
no.
anything, and this guy's perfect. It's that simple.
dude. Yeah, no, this is the best situation they could
You
ever be
couldn't
in.
you couldn't ask for a better organization.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better organization. Popovich may return for like a 3-year extension because of this.
He might coach 10 more years.
Oh my, into his 80s?
Sure, anything is possible.
Bro is 73.
For a guy like Wemby, dude, I would coach it in my grave. I'd be in the casket calling plays.
Oh my
I
god.
want to be there for that, man. It'd be
I
fun
know
to
he'll
see
be
how
there
he
for a
comes
couple
up.
of years, but I don't know, like, you know, with that type of stress, you start to be like politicians in their 80s. I feel like
Oh,
just
God, yeah.
not certain of where they are and what they're gonna say and shit. Like I just
He's
I mean,
been there long
Larry
enough,
Brown's
man.
still coaching.
Yeah, somehow.
college, sure, yeah.
Just
But
still- he's still
Popovich has
coaching.
been there so long that they definitely already have like had a successor lined up, or like somebody that like, could be the successor, and it's probably just another Popovich clone. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
be too worried about that. We'll
Yeah.
see. Exciting stuff.
But let's talk about like the other players who will likely get selected. So who out of like the top 5 players, who does Charlotte really need in order to like change their direction? Because they have LaMelo Ball now, who's either injured or not injured. I mean, he's a great player when on the court. A fantastic facilitator, great player, probably the best out of the balls. Out of the Ball
balls.
family. nice. Who out of Victor? I mean, obviously not out of Victor, but out of the 3 players listed here, who do they really need to draft?
If you're
Brandon.
trying to swing for the fences, Scoot. But if you want a safe pick, Brandon Miller.
Why Scoot?
Because he's looked at as a generational prospect.
Could he
I'd say it's
fall
the
like in the-
athleticism with him.
Could he fall at the 2 with LaMelo at the 1?
Honestly, I think they're interchangeable. And I think they could form a dynamic backcourt with each other. But fit-wise, I don't know if it makes sense because neither of them are really great shooters.
That's true.
So Brandon Miller might make more sense there.
Brandon Miller is the better fit for Charlotte in terms of like a tandem with LaMelo, where because Brandon Miller is going to play more of a wing, small forward, potentially stretch 4 position, and would pair better with LaMelo. But if you're talking about like best player available, and kind of like Meyer said, more of like the home run thing, not that Scoot's like a complete, like he could be like a complete liability. It's just that it's a big risk taking somebody that might not pair as well with your franchise corner piece in LaMelo Ball that you might think. I think Brandon Miller would be the better fit right now. But who's to say that Scoot doesn't develop into the next big backcourt for the NBA?
Yeah, for
both
sure.
under 25. Yeah, that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
I feel like that experiment almost will remind me of what Phoenix did when they had Goran Dragic, Isaiah Thomas, and Eric Bledsoe.
The 3-point
But that didn't work out. But
No.
Worth a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Brandon Miller is definitely the safest pick because, I mean, like, take a look at Charlotte the last few years. Like, they've always been bad, but when they lost Miles Bridges and just didn't have a wing, they were straight up unwatchable. I think that they need a solid wing, and that's what Brandon Miller can be. I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far and say Scoot Henderson's a generational talent, because I also feel like that that word gets tossed around every NBA draft with the first pick, like Zion generational, like LeBron's generational.
Yeah, sure.
Like I feel like
yeah,
that
LeBron.
kind of well, yeah, LeBron obviously was, but I feel like and like Wemby, like they're saying is like generational. Like I have a hot take on Wemby, but I'll save it for later.
Ooh,
But
I kind of want to hear it now.
I'm gonna write that down.
Save that for the mock draft.
But
Yeah, for
so
the mock draft,
I mean,
okay.
I think so I think the safest pick is Brandon Miller, but I think Scoot can be because he's just a freak in nature athletically. So I think he's less of a risk because Brandon Miller didn't do too well in March throughout the March Madness tournament.
That's true.
And then there was also the allegation that he maybe was the leading assist to that murder of the Alabama teammate.
To be fair, though, we didn't see Scoot really except for that game against Victor.
That's true. Yeah, I mean that's
He
kind
got
of
a
the
chance
part.
to hide.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the nature of when you don't go to college. You're kind of unproven,
Yeah, sure.
untested. So I mean, we're really gonna see. I mean, even then it's a small sample size, but I think we're really gonna see Scoot's potential in the summer league.
Just to be clear, I don't necessarily view him as generational, but it's just a lot of scouts saying that about him.
Athleticism is kind of what makes him, because like this guy, I mean, you just look at the guy and you just can't believe he's like 6'2", 195 and moves it the way he does.
Especially
Like,
at what,
you know,
18? Like
Yeah. Like
Or
this guy.
19,
Yeah, this guy
19.
moves like almost quicker than Russell Westbrook did up and down the court at UCLA, which is saying something.
And he already has a grown man body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a large man for being 6'2", 185. That's for sure.
I think swinging for the fences and Scoot Henderson for Charlotte is kind of a bad idea because I feel like they do need defense since they lost Miles Bridges at the wing. I mean, it's going to really be exploitative for opposing players to go after Scoot if he's on Charlotte with his like defensive liabilities. I mean, yeah, he can shoot. He can shoot off the dribble, has a really good shot selection, but I mean, his defense needs to be improved. So
Yeah, and LaMelo's already a lazy defender as is.
yeah, and it's going to kind of like cause a lot of influence among each other when it comes to lackadaisical defense. So I really feel like drafting a wing player or someone who can sort of complement LaMelo's weaknesses would be the best bet for Charlotte. So that kind of leaves maybe Portland taking Scoot Henderson if Charlotte does play it safe and picks the right choice in Brandon Miller. Even though he didn't play well in the NCAA tournament, it's not necessarily like a stain on his career. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of top prospects tend to go out like that when it comes to March Madness.
of course, yeah. I mean, then they, usually do well in the NBA. Notably Zion Williamson, even though he's not playing much, when he's on the NBA court, he's a monster. And also might be a Pelicans trade option too. They're looking to trade Zion too because
I would actually like
Portland.
him. I would actually like him with Charlotte.
Zion.
Yeah,
Okay.
Zion and LaMelo.
I mean, that would be nasty.
That's
Offensively,
like a high school mixtape, like match made in heaven, right there. Was I the
Yeah.
only one that watched that in the middle of class in high school? It was just their mixtapes all the time. I had a lot of fun doing that.
yeah. I mean, I watched Lonzo in college a little bit, so
There you go.
yeah. Mike Korzemba was like my favorite YouTuber back
Oh,
in the day.
Korzemba.
Oh yeah.
And he had
The
that
wedding
video.
videos was cool too.
He had that video of the 40-inch vertical. A player with a 40-inch vertical and he can shoot like Steph Curry. If they
Man,
do,
that was
Well,
controversial though.
Wow.
should they
It's
take
good,
Did
yeah.
you see that
and,
video of LeBron
and
mocking,
rebuild with him and trade Lillard? That's kind of
Take
what
Jump
that
Scoot
shot.
trade day.
trade
I
day.
think you
Everybody
take Scoot
was
regardless
about
of your keeping Dame or
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
If he's
It was
available.
bad. It was bad. He was like he's just playing like a
because,
hand
know
game.
what?
It was between
playing-
of like the
He
question
was.
poised of like
I think he shot like
shot
30
well,
percent.
like
play with
you said.
LaMelo.
He shot really well in
He shot well.
college.
I
think
Yeah, well,
either.
He was in
Um,
stepbacks too.
I think he
Yeah,
could
whether
drop
the
down.
form
to
is
the two.
ugly or
I just
not,
think
as long
that
as it
Scoot's
goes
an
in, that's
athletic
all that
freak
matters. I'm a
freaking
big
nature.
believer.
And I think
if
especially because
Scoot
people tell me I shoot
plays
like Carlos
alongside
Boozer,
a LaMelo,
but if it goes in,
an
it
elite
goes
point
in.
guard like a
It's
LaMelo
not
or
From
Sean
behind
Marion
the
too.
I
Sean
think that's
Marion
even
as
better
well.
for Scoot's career.
Or
because you kinda
Rick
have
Barry
someone
with the underhand
take
free
him
throw.
under
Yeah.
his wing, as opposed to being just
I'm
thrown
not
out there
gonna
into the
count
wolves, 'cause there's
MKG on
nothing
that because
scarier
he
than being a
did
19-year-old
horrible
getting a
shot.
taste
I know
of
Reggie
18,
Miller
19-year-old
had,
getting a
like,
taste of
an
NBA
unorthodox
action for the
shot,
first
too.
time.
Yeah.
So
But hey,
I think
he's like
just having
top
kind of like that
5 or top
mentor.
3 and 3
I think a
point
better
shooter.
fit for him
Probably
actually
the
to
third
get
best
that
shooter
kind
of
of
all time.
advice and
Yeah.
take it under is Portland because it's a small market. I mean, Charlotte's a small market too, but not a lot of pressure. So I think
Yeah.
Scoot, Charlotte, or Phoenix has to be the pick here. I think you go either way, whether they keep Dame or not.
Yeah, I would have to agree. If Scoot's there, even if they do plan on keeping him or plan on moving him, I mean, I feel like you get the most when you get him just because he's so young and the amount of hype he has going with him. I guess the other thing I'll say is, so say Scoot goes 2, and so then it's Portland at number 3. I think there's a possibility if Scoot Henderson goes number 2 to Charlotte that we might see Portland kind of panic a little bit and take one of the Thompson twins, probably Amen Thompson. I think there is a possibility of that happening. To me, it seems like everything is pointing to the Hornets taking Brandon Miller. So if they don't, and whether it's because, there's the off-court concerns or whatever it happens to be, I think he's the one that we might see slide for whatever reason. Although I do think he's no doubt a top 3 prospect here.
And also his age might be used against him a little bit too, because he will be turning 21 as a rookie.
Which isn't like old, but like compared to the others.
I kind of feel like if you spend more time in college, I kind of feel like that's a.
But he was 20 as a freshman. That's the thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
look at me, not knowing a lick of shit about NCAA.
That's why we're here. It's okay.
I appreciate it. Y'all are great.
You know many more Rockets players than I do.
Even though I'm the host, like oof, treading on water right here. But
that's an NBA podcast. Subscribe.
But we're talking about the NBA draft. Yeah, but see if Portland takes Amen Thompson because they can't take Scoot, then the Rockets are going to get screwed too, because that's what the Rockets are looking for. I mean, a lot of NBA analysts who are Rockets fans, who cover the Rockets, they want the Rockets to take Amen Thompson or move up to the second pick and get Scoot. How are they going to?
I don't think I like Scoot on the Rockets.
I mean, he would be a good, I would say, second option alongside Jalen Green, because I don't think KPJ is a true point guard.
He's not. But I think they got too much high maintenance on their team already. I think they need more of a low maintenance guy at this point.
So like what? Like a Brandon Miller?
I mean, if you want to go there, yeah. But they already have Tari Eason, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, they have Tari Eason, who's a great energy guy, good small forward. I mean, I think you do put Amen Thompson.
You think they would reach for Anthony Black at that point?
I'm huge on Anthony Black, so I actually can't even roll that out. Anthony Black is one of, in my opinion, he has a chance to be, like, other than the top 3, he might be the best player out of this lottery. I'm huge on him. Unfortunately, I think he might go to Washington, which is kind of tough for him right now. But with them trading Beal, I think that Anthony Black has a chance to shine here. And I will stand by that, whether I'm right or wrong. Anthony Black from Arkansas. Eric Musselman there really knows what he's doing when he comes to developing, facilitating guards. He's 6'5". I really like what I see from
his
him.
hair slaps.
Yeah.
And he has great hair,
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really do much of analysis on Anthony Black, but I mean, I sided with most of Andy's takes because I feel like he's right most of the time. So you're right. Like, there's always that player in the lottery who outshines in the long run compared to the other picks in the draft. There's always that player.
All the time.
Yeah. So I would love for like the Rockets to sort of stir the pot and just pick somebody that's like down, who's projected to be down later in the draft in the mid first round. I would love that because it would sort of make us kind of like, what is Raphael Stone seeing that we aren't? I think that's a pretty cool, interesting take on that.
Yeah. Now that I think of it, I don't think that's a bad idea for them.
No, I mean they definitely need more size.
And a real point guard.
And a real point guard.
Yeah, I think he covers both of those right there. He's a bigger guy that can handle the ball well, and I think he plays pretty good on ball defense. He's an SEC basketball player, man. He's tough. He's gritty. Yeah. I like that. That's good for you guys. Need that.
And we're not going to get it, obviously, because he's not projected to be a top 5 pick. But what did you say, Brian? What did you say?
We almost made it through a whole thing without talking about Houston strip clubs.
Grady Dick walking into God, dude.
Well, you said go bold. Grady Dick's bold.
I know where I would like him to go. definitely not Houston.
I want him to go to Orlando, but
That's where I had him going too, actually.
At 11, that's where I have him
Bro,
going.
his name is just. This guy looks like Evan Peters. I'll be honest.
no, you know who he looks like? I said this to my friend because my friend's a huge Kansas fan. He looks like the actor in the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary.
Yeah, Evan Peters.
Oh, I didn't know his name.
But anyways, he does not look. When I look at him, and I will tell you this because I know Houston. He is not Houston. That's not Houston. Like that is not Houston culture to me. That looks like Denver Nuggets, Charlotte Hornets. It looks like Phoenix
Name
Suns.
the whitest cities in America. Keep
It
going.
looks
There you
like
go. Yep.
Utah.
Houston
Boston
needs to change
Celtics,
culture.
Utah Jazz. That just looks like all those other teams that have more white guys or half white guys, half black guys. Like no, I just don't see him Houston. Sorry, like
I don't think he's going that early. There was a chance. I was hearing people saying like, or maybe Orlando is like really wants to get him at 6, but I think he's not going to get taken until.
Is he a floor spacer?
That's what I'm saying.
He looks like a floor spacer.
If Orlando's going to take him at 11, is my prediction. Yeah,
he looks like a floor spacer.
6'8's a bit of a stretch. I think he's more 6'6", 6'7". But
That's
I've seen him
great
listed at
defense.
6'4" recently.
yeah,
Like,
well,
that could
he's
be a lot.
not 6'8". There's no shot he's 6'8". But I mean, he can really score from all three levels. He shot 40% from 3 this year. Had a terrible showing against Arkansas, where Anthony Black had a really good game. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks surrounding him. I mean, this is the NBA draft. These are 19-year-old kids. Of course, there's question marks surrounding people. But Jeremy, you said floor spacer. That's probably how I would explain what he is and what he offers to a team.
Alley-oop, really
I
athletic.
see
at the
Kevin
rim.
Herter with him.
I think that's a great comparison. Yeah,
Kevin Herter.
I like that. Yeah, might not be your guy right off the bat, but definitely a guy that gives you quality minutes, like he did for the
Needs
Kings.
needs to gain some size to be a little bit like Kevin Herter.
He can do it.
Put some bulk up. Oh yeah,
He's a Kansas boy.
He can do it.
Tough.
They're both white. It's definitely possible.
They have so many similarities. They are both white.
But anything else we want to address before we get into our next segment?
Should be a fun draft.
Should be a real fun draft.
I don't know.
honestly.
You'll see more in the mock draft episode coming
Yeah,
up.
you'll
next
see
time.
more. You'll see more in the mock draft, guys. Stay tuned for me to
Including a hot
completely
take.
just lay an egg in the mock draft. Oh, jeez. All right, so let's get to some NBA pop culture. Let's go to Karl-Anthony Towns and Pat Beverly. So we made fun of Karl-Anthony Towns. Excuse me. The previous episode or 2 episodes ago, the fact that he has a zesty voice, and you know sometimes he can't really change that. Or he tries to during media interviews and post game interviews and stuff. But when he's streaming, when he's with his friends, when he's with on podcasts and stuff, especially with like fellow teammates or opponents, he lets it all hang out. You know, he lets it all hang out. He likes to, you know, just be himself and stuff. He's got a hot wife too. Like his wife is prime, very 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 good looking
Who's his
woman.
wife?
I don't know her like name. I I think I saw her in a
feel like
video.
I should know
Because they
this.
have like a TikTok
Oh,
account.
Jordan Woods.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, you did good, Kat. You did good. So with Kat, he was on the podcast with Pat Bev's pod, and they were basically talking about the fact that Kat said he believes that they had a better season than Denver, especially with Patrick Beverly last year. Apparently because they won the play-in game, and Patrick Beverly was like just throwing his shirt off and was just celebrating as if he won the NBA Finals with
You want me to do
Minnesota.
my impression of it real quick? Just like
Sure, dude. Go ahead.
just
No, you gotta stand back. Stand back. Or actually, don't stand back. It's fine. Yeah. I don't see any tears.
sorry.
Anyways.
I realize that it's just a play-in game and it's not the NBA Finals,
Yeah.
so I shouldn't be crying right now.
Like, I was like, dude, did you not see what Denver did to you in the first round?
Even
Mopped
though
the
that was a year later, and they defended.
Yeah, it was a year later. Well, they didn't even like make it a series against the Grizzlies. I mean, it was Anthony Edwards pretty much doing all the work last
Didn't
season.
they lose like 4-2?
Yeah,
4-1 this year.
4-1.
It was only a 5-game series.
it was 5 games this year. It was 6 games
No, I'm
last
talking
year.
about their series against Memphis.
Yeah, it was Memphis in 6, but it was Anthony Edwards who was pretty much taking over the game from Minnesota and carrying the team. Karl-Anthony Towns was kind of a shell of
Either way-
himself. What?
I said either way, it's a delusional take. From
Oh my God! without a doubt, my delusional take for sure. I I really think Patrick Beverly just decided to show off his true personality after he got traded to the Clippers because he was first team all defense, and now he feels like he can say whatever he wants, and now we're just like, yep, that's classic Pat.
But he doesn't give a damn though. That's the thing.
That's what's funny because he's saying all this outlandish shit that doesn't even make any sense, and yet we're like, yeah, that's Patrick Beverly. But the fact that he has Cat rolled into this, who's like claiming that he's going to be, when it's all said and done, the best center in the league, and he's like, if I could, I'd get you 40 every single night.
Yeah, he said he's going to change the game when people look back at his career.
He might not even be the best center on his team.
Yeah,
well,
but he's not even a center no more.
Yeah, he's a power forward. Rudy Gobert is a center.
I don't know.
Dude,
he was never really truly a center.
No, he's a stretch 4. I would say he's a stretch 4 for sure.
It is better. You're right.
Stretch 4 for sure. Like, I mean,
is that us talking like hairdressers, like the one guy said?
No, that's Cat. He was on the podcast P with Paul George, and I forgot they're talking about, and he kind of rose his register pitch up a little bit. He's like, no, for sure, it's hence the zestiness. But I do kind of halfway agree with the fact that he's like, I'm gonna change the game. I'll give you 40 every night if I want to. You can.
If he wants to, he can.
Cat can certainly get 40 points on a given night.
He's special. He absolutely is special.
We're not doubting his game. Yeah. It's just that you can't be saying this. You can't be saying this if you haven't won a playoff series. First of all,
but that run was better than the Nuggets championship run, Jeremy. Obviously, right?
They argued that because the Nuggets spent 3 to 4 years together, and the Wolves spent training camp and then 1 month later, and they had to kind of fix it all up throughout the season with Patrick Beverly, and then they were able to make a play-in game. That's why they think their run last year was better than the Nuggets' run this year.
So that Patrick Beverly celebration where he throws his jersey into the crowd.
Do I have to do it again?
No, dude. It's all good. It's all good, man.
But that just shows you a poverty franchise.
Andy, you're back.
Jeremy. Hey, sorry. Christian Brown had to use the bathroom. All right. I'm here now. Yeah.
Oh, now it's Zach Wilson.
Now he's Zach Wilson.
Okay, the one I don't get is Tyler here. Okay, move on. Sorry.
Moving on. That was my fault. But yeah, it was more special what we did in Minnesota. What did you do? What did you do? What have you done?
Not a damn thing.
It just shows that maybe it's not the entire organization, but Karl-Anthony Towns is very much complacent with being mediocre in the league, and that should tell you all you need to know about him and how that team's been playing.
He starts his Call of Duty streams.
Better.
Yeah, he starts his.
He tries harder during COD, I think.
They need to just build around Anthony Edwards and trade Karl-Anthony Towns.
Exactly. That's what I mean. They're focusing on Anthony Edwards now. That's why Anthony Edwards had a hell of a season last year in the regular season. So
he's a dog. He deserves better than this shit.
Here's my question. You think he's using his real voice or his tough guy voice?
It was more special. What we did in Minnesota, it was special, y'all.
Jeremy, you're very good at that.
Or it was more special. That's what movies are made of. More special here in Minnesota than any other city.
It depends whether the interviewer was female or not.
Oh my god!
What it was.
Oh my god!
No, it was all male podcast.
If you let me call the plays, I can go get 40 anytime I want. Let you call the plays, so you be the coach.
Now he's burning bridges with the front office and
okay. I have a question about this. How does his teammates, the ones that actually have dog in them, like Anthony Edwards, how do his teammates feel about his takes? I don't Pat Beverly's not on the team anymore. So why the hell are they even talking about it in the first place? This so-called better run than Denver. What? How does his teammates, his coaching staff, how might they feel about this? This is so just not superstar takes at all to me.
I mean, don't you think someone's just gonna actually be upset with him and potentially beat the shit out? Shit, the Timberwolves already got in a fight last year when it was Gobert and Kyle Anderson throwing hands. This is not going to help the tensions in the locker room whatsoever.
No. And they have to stay. They have to stay together for the foreseeable future. They have to.
It just blows my mind. I'm honestly speechless about it. Somebody has a take. I don't even want to address this.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with Matt. What he's saying in the comment section here. He's definitely stirring the pot. I mean, say what you want about Patrick Beverly, whether he has this right to talk trash or whatever. but he definitely knew what he was doing. He was definitely knowing Cat, being teammates with Cat. He knows how he is.
He was egging him on.
Yeah, he was egging him on. He was pretty much setting him up to either embarrass himself or to be cocky, however way you want to phrase it. Yeah, I mean, to like 100%. So like, I guess Pat Bev is an A1 instigator or like trouble starter because that's clearly what he did.
Hall of Fame.
He's getting more viewers on his podcast now, so that's good, I guess, right?
I think that's his point. That's his point because maybe what's going to happen after basketball? Like, will he get re-signed by the Bulls or will he go elsewhere? I mean, he's a free agent right now, so you never know. They always got to make sure they have something in their back pocket.
You got to think about life after basketball.
Yeah, after the NBA. Forever. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand these takes. I mean, did you see Gilbert Arenas' his reaction
I watch
to
his
this?
podcast all the time.
Yeah. Oh my god, like he went off on Cat, like
as he should.
As he freaking should, exactly.
Gilbert Arenas did more in his career than Cat has ever done.
On a worse team.
Long of a career. On a worse team.
On a worse team.
The gun situation.
Or a worse organization.
Yeah, by himself, pretty much.
They're both poverty franchises, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we can put this segment to bed right here. Cat, just shut the fuck up and just play. That's all I gotta say. Shut up.
I hate saying shut up and dribble when it comes to like politics and stuff, because speak your mind. But if you have takes this bad, please shut up and dribble the ball, Cat.
Please.
You're ridiculous.
This isn't even a politics thing. This is just him saying shit when he's like on
put your money where your mouth is.
3 tabs of acid, 4 joints, 5 tabs of oxy. I don't know, just all the drugs to say this shit.
Whatever drugs they have in Minnesota.
Yeah, Cat, just drop 40. Go drop 40.
Drop 40 and we'll talk.
Drop 40, like, increase your PPG to, like, maybe 35 and then we'll talk.
That's not going to happen.
I know it's not. I'm just...
Exactly.
Wishful thinking, Mount Meyer. Wishful thinking. Oh, yeah. An emotional... After the final game of the season, thanks Timberwolves fans. Is this after they lost against the Nuggets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that.
Oh, actually, this might have been when they lost the previous year. This might have been the Memphis series.
What date was this, Matt?
Because those uniforms were from last year.
When they lost to Memphis.
Okay.
Oh, this was when they lost to Memphis. Okay. I mean,
I can tell by the jerseys because
I don't hate this.
KG.
I don't hate this though.
No, I think it's right. The right thing to do.
This is before he took drugs and started saying some stupid shit. A year before.
He's still common sense back here. Still a little weird to be that emotional for it, but I mean,
they made the playoffs, made it a series against Memphis, who had a really good chance to make the finals that year. Memphis was a surprise team. Well, that's because John Morant was injured. I'll argue that.
But Golden State would have won regardless.
They would have won. They had a better team that year too. I think we can close it out.
Yeah.
Let's close the episode out. I have a final question for all y'all. What do you think of Ayesha Curry? That's just the final question.
I would.
You would think of her? You would think of her? Oh yeah, I would think of her. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
No, we know what he meant. Little
yeah. All right.
Chicago over there.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Cut the Nets episode 28. If you want to like and subscribe, that'd be great. Please also follow us on all of our other socials. We are on Spotify as well. The last batch of episodes 15 through 28 will be on Spotify this week. So if you're a Spotify listener, you can listen to episodes 1 through 14, but we'll have Spotify episodes 15 through 28 on the gallery on Spotify this week.
And please, positive comments only, man.
Yeah, positive comments only, man. Like calling us 5 white dudes who can't dunk a basketball, who have hairdresser voices is just it's in bad taste.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Man, you used to use the Jack Harlow line, 5 white boys and they're not in sync. Like, come on.
Yeah, come on. Seriously, come on, Cat. We know it's you. All right.
3s are worth more than 2, anyways. Come on.
Exactly.